So recently, I've been taking some pretty big L's on this channel against 5-0 players. So this time, I am playing a 4-0. So jokes aside, this time I am playing against one of my buddies, Craig. And Craig is a 4-0 player, but in my opinion, and a lot of my friends' opinions, he should be a 4-5, just solely based on how well he does in singles in 4-0. I mean, just look at a couple of his records. And he plays a lot of 4-5 singles, and he still does pretty well in it. But let me know in the comments below if you think he should be a 4-0 player or a 4-5 player, higher or lower, or what do you guys think? So we have played each other before in an official USTA match in doubles, and I was going to post it on the channel, except yeah. So in this video, I am looking to exact my revenge against Craig and hopefully beat him in a match of singles. Anyways, this video will contain 2 separate matches from 2 separate days. And the reason why I'm doing 2 separate matches is because I just wanted to show the differences in how, I guess, I played between the 2 matches. But without spoiling the results too much, essentially one of the matches I was having a pretty good day and he was having a not so good day. And in another one of the matches, he was having a pretty good day and I was having a not so good day. So I changed my playstyle quite a bit from the first match to the second match, or at least I was thinking about it and trying to. So I just kind of wanted to detail my thought process and my strategy and what I changed between these 2 matches. And honestly, none of these 2 matches were how I expected them to go, because Craig is a very good baseliner and I like to be a counterpuncher. I was expecting a lot of baseline to baseline rallies. The points were a little bit different. But yeah, you guys are just gonna have to see for yourself. Anyways, let's get right into the match. Hope you guys enjoy. Hit that like button. And of course, hit that sub button if you guys want to see more tennis content. And I'll see you guys in the match. Let's see if I could get my revenge against Craig. Alrighty, welcome back to the first out of our 2 matches we played against each other. So we played this sometime in January. The conditions weren't the best. It was a bit cold, and the back of the courts on the camera side is a bit damp and therefore slippery. So this time we are playing against a 4-0 player, and it's been a while since I've played against someone who isn't a 4-5 or a 5-0. But honestly, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinions around me, I think Craig should be a 4-5. It's just that USTA algorithm hasn't bumped him up yet. But the USTA algorithm isn't really that reliable, and obviously it also includes doubles, so you never really know. So we do win the first service game. I feel like my serve has gotten a tiny bit better and it's been feeling good, especially in this video. But gonna talk a little bit more about Craig's game. You guys could probably see that he is a pretty strong baseliner. He has a very big forehand, definitely his biggest and most dangerous shot. He has really good ball striking and can put away balls. And he's typically very consistent with his shot quality, and his shots are very heavy. A lot heavier than most people I hit with, and that is including 5-0s. But here is one thing I feel like holds him back a tiny bit. He is a very big rhythm player, which means if you give him pace, he will thrive. Now, if you give him junk and change the pace of the match, if he is on, he might just hit through you, and you can't really do anything about it. But if he isn't on, that's when a change of rhythm can mess him up a little bit. And additionally, I think he gets frustrated sometimes, so he could hit 3 really good shots. But if he misses one ball that he thinks he shouldn't miss, his game will kind of fall apart a tiny bit afterwards. He may get back on track, but he will have a couple of points in the middle where you can see the frustration build up. So yeah, these are things that I've noticed from just playing against him a couple of times. I think this is a prime example right here. Very early on, he wins 2 really good points, and then he misses 1 neutral ball. And he kind of gets stuck in that one mistake, and afterwards, I think the frustration just kept building up. And this is what he told me, by the way, so I'm not just guessing. So that being said, it's very hard to not be stuck in your past mistakes, because in tennis you play so many points, it's so easy to make an unforced error. It's very hard to just forget about it, right? But I do think it is a very powerful tool to be able to move past your mistakes, think about what you have to do in the next point, and just try to continue to come up with a plan while recognizing that it is okay to make mistakes. I think that will be ideal. Obviously, it is very hard to do, like I said. I am currently working on that. My mental game isn't the best, but yeah, this is just one of the things that I have noticed with Craig's game. And if he doesn't get frustrated, if he doesn't beat himself up, then I feel like his game would just jump up to the next level. Because at his best, he is really, really good. He just has to be able to maintain that level throughout an entire match. So we do get a couple of breaks in. It is now 5-1. And here in this service game, things kind of fall apart for me. So in this service game, I have a little bit of trouble with Craig's returns. And there are a couple of weird points in here. The last one especially, I stopped playing the point for a second because I thought he slipped, and then honestly I don't really know what happened to the rest of the points. And Craig is killing me on these returns right now. When he gets a good crack at the ball on the return, it always comes very deep and heavy. A lot of times right after my serve, I kind of stop and stare at my serve to see if it goes in or not, which is a bad habit I've had since juniors. We do get broken here, and it is now 5-2. But really quickly, we go up 2 break points as well as 2 set points in the next game. So I do shank a forehand here. Not a big deal. We are able to close out the set 6-2. So overall, just to get this out of the way at this point, this match, out of the 2 matches in this video, this was the one that felt better for me. And I think Craig had a tougher time in this match. He had a lot more unforced errors than he was hoping for. But just gonna talk about my game for a second here. I don't think I was nearly playing my best tennis, obviously. And I fell off in many areas, such as my movement, my timing on my forehand side, and many other things. But overall, I don't expect myself to be always at my best. In fact, after playing a bunch of matches since I started YouTube, I more often expect myself to not perform as I want to. Yeah, kind of like in this point where I just gave up after that super terrible lob. But how I deal with not being able to play the way I want to has been something that I feel like I'm getting better at as I am able to adapt to the match, adapt my playstyle. And obviously I'm not like a really great player. I'm just a 4-5 player, so I'm not like playing some amazing tennis right now. This match definitely felt better than the next match, which, quick spoilers for the next match, that one gets really messy at sometimes. And like I mentioned in the intro, I was trying very different things between these 2 matches, as I was just trying to get the W. Previously, I would be stubborn about it, try to play the same way. If things weren't working out for me, I was hoping that things would turn around for me magically when something doesn't go well. Recently, I've been trying to be a bit smarter about how I play, adapting to the situation, being a little bit more flexible in my strategy as well as my playstyle, and just trying to be overall more smart about how I play. So this match is a bit old, nearly a month old, and since then I have been working on playing a lot more aggressively than I did here. So yes, I have been reading the comments and a lot of the feedback, and I've been trying to do better constructing points on my own, but Craig hits pretty big, and a lot of times I'm on the back foot or doing what I can just to keep the ball in the rally at decent depth so he doesn't have a very easy ball to just destroy. So I may have been a bit too passive at times in this match. Played too many balls down the middle, but in the end it didn't really matter because it was all about just being more consistent. So yeah, we get off to a pretty early lead. It is now currently 4-3. Returning Craig's serve is never easy, so he is a lefty obviously, and he doesn't need a super fast serve or super heavy slice to expose the weaknesses on my returns. The lefty serve obviously just curves out towards my left side, and on my returns when I miss, a lot of times it's because I catch my backhands too far away from me, and my forehands end up being a little bit too close to me. So the lefty spin just exaggerates my previous bad habits and mistakes. And I remember a comment telling me that on my backhand returns that I should be holding it on the handle and not the throat, which at the time was very eye-opening to me. And I had a little laugh because as a kid growing up, I only watched Federer play, so I kind of copied that return position from him, and a little bit dumb, I didn't even think about his return position is fit for a one-hander, so I've been playing like this for my entire life. Recently, I've been trying to transition away from it, but in the next couple of videos, I probably will still be playing the same, just because these videos are kind of old. And I did see the comment though, so just wanted to make that clear. as we're getting close to the end of this game, I pretty much already spoiled the result here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some of the highlight points, and I'm trying to keep this video short, under 30 minutes, so I am cutting out many points within the games. There will just be mostly highlights as well as some fails on both our ends, and once we get into the next match, there will be some different types of points in my opinion. So yeah, nothing too much to say about the first match. I think it was just pretty standard. Craig was having an off day, and I was just able to take advantage of some of his mistakes. Yeah, for the most part, I didn't really try to target Craig's backhand. I did go to his backhand side when I felt like I needed to get out of trouble, but I wasn't really trying to avoid his forehand side all that much. Now in the next match, this is one of the things I had to change in my playstyle. So anyways, I take this first match 2 and 3. I think my serve just caught the back of the line on that last point. Not the cleanest win, but has some pretty fun points, and I felt like I was playing more strategic. Let's move on to more fun stuff, which is this second match where I really had to strategize. But let me give some context first. So next match, we are playing at a different park and completely different circumstance. The weather was so much better, a tiny bit windier. Just to give some context, he had a session earlier in the day, and I just finished a mixed match as well as a mini practice session I had with another friend of mine. So in the middle of this match, you will see my legs completely give away. So not trying to make any excuses, Craig does kick my butt in a lot of points in this match. So yeah, just look out for that. Hope you guys enjoy this match. This match will be pretty intense, and I definitely felt a lot more pressure in this match. But hopefully I don't get embarrassed on my own channel and I don't lose to a 4-0 player. So these first couple of games, obviously we're just feeling out our game. I haven't really made a decision to change up my playstyle yet. I'm just trying to feel out my shots, kind of get the pace of the match, and playing a little bit passive at this moment. You can see Craig is just running me around, winning these points by just hitting some crazy angles, and I'm just trying to get it back to him, and obviously he is just gonna put it away. At this point, I started feeling like my shots were just not really good. I couldn't get a lot of depth on my ball. The only thing I really had for me today was just my serve, and even then, it was not as consistent as the previous match. Even more so in this match, I felt like I was on the back foot. The timing on my forehand and my backhand side was a little bit off, and part of it could just be because the legs are a little bit more tired. The footwork isn't as there as it was in the previous match where it was fresh. But that being said, didn't have my game today, was making a lot of errors on the forehand side, which is pretty unusual for me. Typically my forehand side is much more consistent than my backhand side, and in this match Craig went to my backhand a lot. Maybe he was targeting my backhand, and a lot of times the rallies will go like this. He would constantly hit to my backhand. I would try to hold it down in the backhand side, and eventually he hits to my forehand side, maybe by accident, and then I missed the forehand, which was the shot that I'm not supposed to miss, right? So yeah, so quickly I realized not really feeling my game. So let me quickly talk about some of the strategy I tried to use in this match. As you guys could tell already, Craig's forehand is really big. His backhand isn't a bad shot. His form is a little bit unconventional. He likes to take it back really high, and his motion kind of looks like he's scooping under the ball. So he could definitely attack with his backhand. His backhand is heavy because he has smoked me many times with it in this match already, but it's a less consistent shot, and I feel like I can expose it a little bit more. But in the previous match, I didn't really feel like I needed to do it all that much. I kind of wanted to test his forehand side a bit more, work on handling the heavy pace, and practice against the big shot. So that point right there was a pattern I was thinking about doing a lot, but in reality only executed like once or twice this entire match. So I noticed Craig leaves his forehand side really open. He will run really far to get around his backhand side. So one pattern I was looking for is just a deep shot to his backhand, leaving him to open up his forehand, and since he's also targeting my backhand, I would just step in and try to crack it cross court. Now let's be honest, this doesn't really happen all that much in this match. My backhand felt like absolute shit, and I did not step in most of the time when it happened, but you can see it works sometimes. Also, another thing I was doing is just chipping more, not only backhand slices but also forehand slices as well. Obviously on the surface level it's just to change up the pace of the point against him, since Craig really plays off pace really well, but I think there is also some mental game on his end as well, where he sees a slice and he doesn't really crack the ball. He would just give it back to me a lot lighter, unless my slice is obviously too weak or he's already inside the court. But if I just get a decent slice off, doesn't even need to be all that good, he will either just try to slice it back or give on the pace a little bit, and it's always a nice reset for me. So yeah, these were just two big things I did differently this match. I don't really like playing slow, and I want to hit hard, but when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay, so we do win the first set 6-3, and Craig got a little bit frustrated at this point of the match. He played many great points, but just had a couple of mistakes in the last couple of games. It seemed to affect his play a little bit, and his decision making also, in my opinion. But starting this set, I think he reset mentally, started to hit like he was beginning in the first set, and was playing a lot more loose, or at least it felt like it from my side. I think if he's mentally relaxed and locked in, his game becomes a bit dangerous. And at this point also, my legs are starting to slow down a tiny bit. I'm not cramping or even close to it, but I can feel them drag a bit, and whenever that happens, I just get a little bit more lazy. Not purposefully, but sometimes I just subconsciously stop split stepping or just move a bit late, and when I see the ball that may look out, I don't run for it. I just kind of stare at it, hoping it goes out. So in this set, I did a lot more of just targeting his backhand side, chipping a lot more, not trying to get into a forehand to backhand rally against him. But the problem was, I had all of these things in my mind, but part of me always wanted to go back to my old way of playing, which was just try to out-hit my opponent or just hit really hard ground strokes, and that's where a lot of my errors came in. So here at this point, break point, I did a new strategy where I started to chip his return. So obviously a lefty serve, my return quality is not going to be great. I decided just to chip to his backhand and try to close the net. Like I said, he scoops up the ball, so I expected that it was going to be hard for him to keep that backhand shot low, which makes it very easy for me to close in at the net. Now, some of the changes in strategy I used may not be the smartest, and I won't say even a lot of it worked. Craig was playing some pretty good points here, and I was really struggling just to stay in the match. Definitely did not want to lose this match. But back to the point, I was never really a thinking player. My playstyle is always just caveman brain, hit ball until opponent misses. This is honestly one of the matches where I actually tried to come up with a plan to beat my opponents. If you guys saw my last video with Kevin Shea, this was one of the tips he was giving me, and feel free to let me know in the comments below if my strategy makes sense or if it's just dumb. Once again right here, just chipping to his backhand side with a forehand, but he gets a really sick lob off and I'm forced to hit a tweener. Now I get a pretty clean one off, but good on him for closing in after that lob. Really well played, and we go down a break point here. So for these next couple of points, I kind of revert back to just striking and trying to get a feel for my ground strokes again. Not doing anything special to attack the ball, but I was feeling a bit more comfortable in the rallies. And with a couple more unforced errors, we get a much needed hold. It is now 2-1. From here, it is very important to hold my serves. I think my return quality has gone down quite a bit, having trouble getting on top of his lefty spin serves. So really just have to hold every game we can. Try to break him, but having a lot more trouble in this set than the previous one. So we're back to 2-all, and on my serves, I was actively trying to serve to his body. Typically, I like to serve on a T on a do side and wide on the ad side. Those are my most comfortable placements on my serve. It makes sense because I played righties most of the time. Now against Craig, serving to his backhand seems like the most logical option because it's a weaker shot. But if I simply serve to his backhand side, he could still get it back. He could get on top of it. But if I aim it more to his body, make him run around it, I felt like it would open up the court a little bit more. So in theory, this sounded pretty good to me in my head, but honestly, I can't place my serves for shit, so even though I tried to do this, he still ended up cracking forehand returns on me, and we lose our service game. So now we are in a little bit of trouble, going to have to try to crawl back out of this little hole we dug ourselves, and yeah, we have to break his serve to get back. Maybe getting a bit frustrated in this game, or a bit panicked, but I missed a couple of forehand returns that should have been easy, simply by just going for too much on them. Really thought I could hit a winner on second serves, or maybe I was just trying to vent a bit of frustration, and I think not being able to play the way I want to is getting to me a bit mentally as well. So at this point, I started to autopilot a bit in this game, forgot about all the things I was previously doing to adapt to Craig's game, and we go down another game at 2-4. And at this point, a couple of alarm bells are ringing in my head. I felt like Craig was outplaying me in the last couple of games. I knew if we pushed it to a third set, I would likely lose just due to fatigue and pressure. Thinking about this stuff definitely added more pressure to me. I definitely didn't want to lose. At this point, I really had to lock in. In this game, I started to take the pace off my serves. I couldn't afford to double fault, and I started to slice my serves a little bit, because I recall every time I hit a flat serve, he would just get it back to me even harder, and I would have a lot of trouble trying to get the +1 in. So we do get a hold, but still, we have to break Craig's serve, which is the difficult part. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we are back up 5-4. We won the last 3 games. Now, once again, have to break Craig's serve. And at this point, I was no longer down to play long rallies or long points, and I had a match against Hassan coming up, so I told myself, why not just practice some volleys? Chip to his backhand, come in, and try to finish at the net. Now, the problem is, my put-away game is a bit weak, so let's just watch what happens. finally get the dub at 3 and 4 in the second match. And shout out to Craig for coming out and playing this match on this channel. You'll definitely see him again because I feel like he plays some really good points, but I've seen him play in practice and sometimes his level is crazy high. So maybe I can actually clickbait him in another video. But if you guys are looking to record yourself playing tennis as well, check out the link below for a Swing Vision discount and a free swing stick, otherwise worth $100. And anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and of course hit that sub button. 250 likes and I'll appeal down to 4-0, and I'll see you guys next time.